that produced that little
It's
boy.
a societal problem.
Yeah, it is.
And you know what? People cannot discount the overarching impact of slavery.
Right.
And, I'm not fully versed in Naim Akbar, but what about this, notion that a byproduct of slavery, an adverse impact of slavery, has actually become genetic? That it's in the genes. There has been some publications out there about that.
Right.
So, I mean, you cannot enslave a whole group of people for 300 some years
Yeah.
and then set them free with nothing. The
Well, you set
promise
them.
of 40 acres of a meal
Well,
doesn't
you
materialize.
you set them free after the Civil War. You do all that stuff, but then you brought Jim Crow.
That absolutely.
That basically broke their back and then denied them any opportunity to make a living.
Yes.
I took a tour, and I mention it all the time, every now and then on the show when we have this kinds of conversation. The Whitney Plantation in New Orleans, in Bernard Parish, took a tour of the Whitney Plantation. And Tracy, if you listen to the curator, at the Whitney Plantation, tell you the story of the Whitney Plantation, one of the largest plantations in the South, obviously, yes. And the number of people that died, and how they give you this history of how from Reconstruction, from slavery Reconstruction, to the introduction of Jim Crow,
yes,
and why Jim Crow was actually instituted, a deliberate attempt and an effort to systematically dismantle black life and to
yes.
render you
and
nothing.
It.
Right,
yes.
right. And to squeeze blood out of you. That despite you graduating from Harvard University or whatever you graduate from, still life would not mean anything. And there are people to this day, who will tell you that my grandparent was the first to come out of college back then, but he was still called a boy.
Right.
He still could not have a decent job despite having a bachelor's degree in engineering or some other discipline in life, because what Jim Crow did was ensured a systematic deprivation
absolutely
of opportunity and a systematic dismantling of black life. And Jim Crow is not 500 years ago.
No.
Jim Crow was only 50 years ago.
Correct.
So actually we're not far apart. And when you compare Jim Crow here, you compare apartheid here. South Africa was only reborn in 1992 after Mandela came out of prison.
Right.
So that was what? Only 20 years ago,
right.
20-something years ago. So, these systems are not far away.
No.
And so
when American apartheid,
yeah, and so
apartheid.
Yeah, and so when you raise these issues, people say, well, get over it. I mean, I can understand if it is 5,000 years ago, you tell me to get over it, but how do you get over something that only happened 25 years ago, 30 years ago? Now, seriously.
It was slavery, let's face it, was a black Holocaust.
Right.
And there has been dearth of respect, for the trauma that the black race suffered as a result of slavery. It's the black Holocaust. Now, we have the Jewish Holocaust.
Right.
And Jewish people are very solid with their faith. And, we've seen a number of movies that come out about the Holocaust, a Schindler's List.
Right.
And no one is told to forget that because it was a horrific event in history.
No,
by the same token, slavery should never be forgotten, and no one should ever be told to forget about slavery.
I have I have one of my friends, one of my good friends. One of his parents is a Holocaust survivor.
Really? The Jewish Holocaust?
Yeah,
okay.
A Jewish Holocaust survivor.
Okay.
And through my interactions with him, hanging out with him, I came to find out that, in fact, there are counselors, therapists that provide counseling to survivors of the Jewish Holocaust.
Yes, well needed.
Yes, that provide counseling to survivors of the Holocaust.
There's a parallel in the black community as a result of slavery.
Good question.
Right.
So there's a lot here. Let's go to the phone lines, though. Let's go to Tony. Tony is with us here on Red Line on 9:10 a.m. Banker Thompson here with Tracy Martin.
Hey, Mr. Thompson, and to your guest, Miss Tracy Martin. How you guys doing today?
Tony, fine. How about you?
Good.
Pretty good. First off, I wanted to say thank you guys for having the conversation. It's actually a really, really good conversation. I appreciate it. And I learned, a little bit about, I guess, you guys' families and some of the history and stuff going on in Detroit. So I really appreciate it. And also appreciate the governor's forum But mainly I called to see if Bankley you give away a pair of those tickets for the 90 minutes. Really,
Oh, brother, I like how you in a very, I like how you in a very slick
clever,
way,
yeah.
you put it in. You set me up, gave us credit for this, and then you just laid it down, right?
Yes, sir.
Smooth moves.
All right,
Yeah.
we will do that. Let me do this. If you can leave your name for me, with Rachel is in studio with us. Rachel, if you can take Tony's information out. All right, Tony.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys have a nice one.
Okay, you too, Tony. Thanks for calling.
All right, brother. Let's go to who do we? Is Steve back with us? Steve, are you there? Yes. Go ahead.
How are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
All right. Let me ask you something. I'm asking you and Tracy a question. What do you call a group of people that chase black folks from the South to Detroit and across the river into Canada?
What do we call them?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are what you call terrorists and terrorist acts, right?
Can
So
you
I've
get
never
an
been-
argument from me? No, absolutely.
I've never been afraid of ISIS or ISIL.
Right.
The terrorists are here in America.
Oh, yeah.
But they painted the picture so bad that when you mention the word terrorism, you think they come from abroad.
That
You
is
think
true.
they come from the Middle East.
Right.
But terrorists are policies that are passed. PA 436 is a terroristic policy. There's no question. You're sitting in Cobo Hall. Albert Cobo was a terrorist.
Yep.
Well, they may change the
You know,
name,
so-
by the way. Yeah.
Well, you understand
I
what
hope
I'm
they do.
saying.
Oh, I totally get it.
They should, actually, I'm going to suggest they call it Martin Luther King Jr. Convention Hall.
Well, I love that idea. But
And
you know,
Lewis Cass High School was a terrorist. I mean, we've got terrorists all around us, but they want you to think that terrorism comes from abroad. And I'll ask you this. First of all, want to say, Hugh Masekela, one of my favorite songs by him was The
Right.
Boys Are Doing It. And I also want to say to you, Bankley, I need a favor from you.
Okay.
I saw something come across my Facebook timeline, and it's the best thing I've saw so far from the Democrats. And that was State Senator Jim Ananich,
Uh-huh.
his
Right.
Democratic response to the state of the state last night.
Uh-huh.
That is the best Democratic response I've ever seen since I've been voting.
Okay. Thank you.
And
for bringing
basically
that to my
what he did, I wish you could play it on your show. It's only 3
Okay.
minutes long.
Okay.
And he's a state senator out of Flint.
Right. I know
And
it's around in the
what he did was use videos of the GOP, their actions, their deeds, and their policies, and that's what Gretchen has to do. She has to capture the people with visual learning problems because everything is technology. Simply use their words against them. And Gretchen needs to take off the high heels and put on the sketches because we need her to be more visible. Right now, they say she's up 7 points, and nobody's heard of her in the black communities.
right.
Yep.
So,
Right.
so if she kicks the weeds and gets in the streets, we can win this thing.
Get them sketches on, huh?
I like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
she has to put on the
He
sketches.
said take
because
off the
she
high
has,
heels. Yeah.
she has to meet people where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, there's no time. 2018, we can't keep talking about the same thing. Like you said, it was until, let me give you a riddle. Before the Civil War, there were no black people in jail. After the Civil War, we encompassed the jails. Why?
They needed black and
Yeah.
brown bodies.
Policies.
Mm-hmm.
Policies, and the fact that right now we're going back towards that way of being prior to the Civil War. We're going back to sharecropping. And if you don't believe me, they just did a study in Boston.
Right.
They just did a study in Boston. Black folks only have an average net worth
Oh,
of
yeah.
$8.
Well, let me tell you. I read that study, and I've been back and forth with one of the reporters on Twitter who was part of that story to get them on the show because I read that story. I mean, it came about three weeks ago.
Right.
And blacks in Boston are non-existent. Basically, that's what the story said.
The bottom line, the average American only has $1,000 worth of net worth. We are in sharecropping days. We have gone back to prior to the Civil War. We need the black agenda.
All right. Thank you very much, Steve.
Equality,
More reason why Black History should be more than just once a year.
And more reason why we need to keep having these town halls on property.
Now, but you know what? Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the state of the state and tie it to the town hall coming up February 19th. We'll be right back. Stay with us here on Red Line from the North American International Auto Show. You actually can come. I'm giving a free promo, by the way. You can come and buy a brand new car here if you want to, I guess.
Oh, yeah, you could. Yeah, we've got a lot of great cars in the house.
All right.
They auctioned off that one you were looking at, the Mustang Bullitt. It went for $300,000.
Really?
Yeah.
And I was looking at it.
You were looking at it. The Mustang Bullitt, folks. It's gone.
All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us.